Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana challenges officials from the University of the Philippines to explain the deaths of their students in the company of rebels. In a press conference Wednesday, January 20, Lorenzana says he is open to dialogue with UP officials to reconsider the unilateral termination of its accord with the university signed in 1989. Before it was scrapped, the agreement prevented police and military forces from entering UP campuses without prior coordination with the UP administration.
Sagutin muna nila kung bakit namatay itong mga taong ito na kasama ng NPA. This is a list of students of UP from all UP campuses na namatay during encounters with the armed forces.
Without evidence, Lorenzana claims there are recruitment efforts from the New People's Army or NPA inside the university. In a tweet, he also asked, "What makes UP so special?" Lorenzana insists the government only wants to protect the youth against the real enemies. Meanwhile, military spokesperson Major General Edgar Arevalo defends the termination of the accord by using the drug war as an example.
Paano na lamang po kung mayroong Shabu Laboratory, for instance, sa loob ng University of the Philippines community or campus, and then meron po tayong valid arrest warrant at search warrant.
But UP has its own police force which can make arrests and turn over criminals to fellow policemen. Arevalo also claims the 1989 UP-DND Accord has been voided by the passage of time. Various groups and lawmakers denounced the termination of the accord. They urged the Duterte government to restore the agreement to ensure academic freedom in UP campuses. In a statement, the Commission on Human Rights, or CHR, expresses alarm over the decision, saying suppression of guaranteed rights should never be the response to dissent under a democracy. UP Diliman Chancellor Fidel Nemenzo, meanwhile, stresses the importance of UP as an academic institution. During a mobilization in UP Diliman Tuesday, January 19, he says academic freedom in the university has to be defended at all times. In a statement posted on the UP Diliman website, Nemenzo says, "Academic freedom is the lifeblood of UP." In related news, presidential spokesperson Harry Roque's interview with CNN Philippines anchor Pinky Webb goes viral. Webb asks Roque's reaction to UP journalism professor Danilo Arao's tweet. Arao calls on UP graduates in the Duterte government like Roque to denounce Lorenzana's move. Roque is visibly irked at Webb. He insists the question is not fair and that she is implying he should denounce the government decision as well. Webb clarifies she only read Arao's tweet and merely sought his reaction. Philippine vaccine czar Carlito Galvez Jr. still refuses to reveal the prices of COVID-19 vaccines, citing the confidentiality clauses in the agreement with pharmaceutical companies. Facing pressure from lawmakers, Galvez on Tuesday, January 19, warns doing so would jeopardize the government's purchase of the vaccines. He says the government can lose 148 million vaccine doses if it breaches these agreements. He commits to disclose the prices to the public only when the negotiations with vaccine companies and deliveries are completed. On the same day, Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara supports the government line on the non-disclosure of vaccine prices, saying it might be for a good reason. But, he adds, there is a need for absolute transparency on the efficacy rate of COVID-19 vaccines the Philippines plans to buy. Sinovac's efficacy rate raises questions as clinical trials in different areas have produced varying results. Guevara says transparency with respect to issues of safety and efficacy should be observed early on. Meantime, the health department says the girlfriend and the mother of a Filipino infected with the more infectious virus variant test positive for COVID-19. In a virtual briefing Wednesday, January 20, Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergeres says the girlfriend initially tested negative for the virus upon arrival in the country on January 7. Their swab samples will undergo genome sequencing to check for the new variant. The Justice Department or DOJ charges Peter Jomel Advincula, alias Bicoy, of perjury for falsely accusing human rights lawyers of participating in a supposed plot to oust the president. The arrest warrant was issued for Bicoy on January 18 with a bail of 18,000 pesos. Advincula falsely claimed lawyers Chel Jokno, Erin Tañada, and Ted Te of the Free Legal Assistance Group or FLAG are involved in a plot to oust President Rodrigo Duterte. The DOJ earlier cleared the three lawyers in an inciting to sedition complaint filed by police using Advincula's affidavit. The resolution reveals FLAG, as an organization, declined to assist Advincula, who initially wanted to file complaints against Senator Bongo and presidential son Paulo Duterte for alleged drug links. 2 days later, Advincula appeared in a Camp Crame press conference singing a different tune. This time, he alleged the opposition, some clergymen, and 3 human rights lawyers planned to oust the president. FLAG is demanding $5 million in actual and moral damages for the false accusations. US President Donald Trump says goodbye to the American people in an address released Tuesday, January 19, the last day of his administration. In his remarks, Trump wishes the new administration good luck without acknowledging his successor, President-elect Joe Biden, by name.
This week we inaugurate a new administration and pray for its success in keeping America safe and prosperous. We extend our best wishes, and we also want them to have luck, a very important word.
Trump still refuses to concede defeat to Democrat Biden, who won the November 3 election. Trump is not meeting with Biden beforehand or attending the swearing-in as is customary in the handover of power to the White House, and instead plans to fly to Florida. During his final hours in office, Trump grants clemency to former White House aide Steve Bannon. Bannon, who was a key advisor in Trump's 2016 presidential run, was charged last year with swindling Trump supporters in an effort to raise private funds to build the president's wall on the US-Mexico border. Meanwhile, YouTube says it's extending a 1-week ban on Trump uploading videos or live streaming to his channel for at least an additional 7 days. YouTube banned Trump on January 12 for a minimum of 1 week for violating its policy against inciting violence after his supporters stormed the US Capitol as Congress began to certify Biden's victory on January 6. For months, Trump said without evidence that the election was rigged against him and applied pressure on state officials to overturn the results. A video claiming Senator Amy Marcos exposed the conspiracy between Philippine Police Chief Dibold Sinas and dismissed policeman Jonel Nuesca is false. The video from YouTube channel PH Breaking News also has a news ticker saying, "Marcos has something to reveal about the 2 policemen." It was uploaded on December 27. The content of the video does not support the claim in the title. Sinas is never mentioned in the entire video, which was taken from a 12-minute interview of Marcos in the DZXL program Straight to the Point on December 23. Instead, Marcos brings up Nuesca's previous administrative cases. She suggests Nuesca might have benefited from the padrino system or political patronage in the police force. The false video has over 690,000 views. Data from social monitoring tool CrowdTangle shows the video also gained over 4,000 Facebook interactions.